Greetings, today's video is going to be initial impressions of the Kinesis Tripster 80, can you see the dog running behind me? Kinesis Tripster 80 bike, and I say initial impressions because I've only had this bike for about a week and a half, and I feel like to give a real in-depth review of any bike you need to be able to ride it at least a couple of months just to kind of learn like the ins and outs of it. So this is more of a first impressions of things that I really like and things that I didn't like so much about it. So Kinesis, basically this is their all-terrain bike, that's what the 80 stands for, and it is marketed as their gravel bike, their commuting bike, their just basically kind of do-it-all bike. And yeah, let's get into some of the facts and figures, cost and weight, so just get those out of the way. So the frame set alone comes in at £700, or you can have it built with SRAM Apex, which comes in at £1,600. A 54 frame with that build, and these are Alex Rim wheels and Schwalbe tyres, they're G1 tyres. It comes in at £1,600 for the actual full build. The weight, this is a 54 frame, it comes in at 9.75 kilos, and Kinesis say with a high-end carbon component group set, that's going to come down to around 9 kilos. So yeah, let's get on to the things that I liked a lot about it, and then some of the things that I didn't like so much. So what I really like about this bike, and I think its whole selling point, is it's just flexibility, just to become any kind of bike. So the actual clearance of the wheels, you can either have 700C 45mm or 650B up to 52mm, which is just such a wide range of wheels that you can use and different tyres, just to go on any kind of adventure. And I really, really like that about it, that there's just so much variation in what you can do with the tyre choice. So that's a massive, massive bonus. Tick to Kinesis for that. Another reason that I really like this bike as well, and the reason that I used it for the Switzerland gravel event, was because the bottom bracket is raised up off the floor, which means you can actually put 650B wheels on it, which is, I like that a whole lot. What else do I really like about it? I know this is just so superficial, but I love the colour. This is my favourite colour of all the Kinesis frames. It's called Harris Green. I just love it. I just love green. It is a really, really nice looking bike. What else do I like about it? The mounts. So there are 3 bottle cage mounts. So you can obviously either put water bottles on there, or you can use like a little caddy, which has got like your repair and toolkit in it. Lots of things on it have bbeen really well thought out, and Mike Hall, the late Mike Hall, worked on this with Kinesis, and it's actually got like a little mark at the back, just basically saying it's been detailed by Mike Hall, which I just think is a lovely, lovely touch, knowing that Mike has been involved in this bike. Another thing that I really, really like about it is just the geometry of it. So the head tube is pretty high, so it means it's going to be really relaxed for riding big days out. That is something that I kind of struggle with some bikes. I'm kind of between frame sizes, so this one just feels really comfortable, and it was just a really good fit. And I know I mentioned this before already, but I really like that it comes just as a frame set rather than a full build, because for me, I want to be able to choose the components. I would have preferred, again, I just like Shimano, so if I was to get this, I would want this built up as a frame with Shimano. So that is just my personal preference, and I understand why a lot of people prefer SRAM. So the rides that I've done on this were the off-road gravel ride and the commuting, and it just performed so well in each. And like even when I was kind of off-road, I felt really confident on it. I mean, there was a lot of ice, didn't feel confident on that, but that's not to say that the bike couldn't handle it. That was just my kind of inability to be able to ride on ice. But yeah, it just felt really comfortable. I felt really in control of it, and for commuting it was a dream. These were the tyres, this was a setup that I used for the commute, and in Greater Manchester there are a lot of potholes, and it just soaked those up so nicely. I was actually kind of going towards, you'll know this, on your commute to work there are specific sections of road, you know, where there's that horrible bit of road, where there's that horrible deep pothole that you kind of swerve around, and a lot of it I wasn't really paying attention anymore because I was like, it can handle it. So I really like that. It was very comfortable to ride. So let's come on to a few little niggles that I have with this bike. The first for me is the flared handlebars. I'm not a fan of them, and I don't know whether that is just personal preference, because I've always just ridden with regular drops, and I can imagine when you're off-road you would get more used to it, because I've not ridden it for that much and I've not been able to get used to it. It just felt a little bit alien to me to be able to kind of be that kind of wide with my hands. So yeah, I was just always on the hoods. Also, the reason that flared handlebars are so good is because you can fit a front roll bag in there. So maybe that is something that I could get used to. Another criticism that I have is this. So basically, the internal cabling on one side is really rattly, and yeah, I don't know why, because on the left side it's not rattly at all, on the right it just really is, so that's just a little tiny niggle. Also, this is not something that particularly I am bothered by, but another friend who has a Kinesis really wanted fork mounts, and this doesn't come with fork mounts, and Kinesis have said this is because this is a bike packing bag, not a touring bike, so that was the reason for that. So if you're wanting a bike that you could maybe tour and you wanted fork mounts, this hasn't got it. One other little niggle that I have is with the through axle. I'm happy with through axle, however the end, I don't know what you'd call it, like the little flip thing that you actually spin around, sits in a little groove to be able to unscrew it. I just find it's a little bit faffy, like using some of Canyon's and Cannondale's through axle. I just prefer them, they're a little bit more straightforward. This one just seems a little bit more fiddly, I guess, especially if you're kind of chucking in and out of the car, if you're going to go on like off-road adventures. That's just one kind of tiny niggle that I have with it. So one thing that I did find, and I guess this isn't really the bike's fault, I just felt it was a little bit heavy to be kind of thrashing up hills. I think it's just because I'm used to my lighter road bike specific, and you can't really expect something like this to kind of perform the same when you've got so many other options for like adventure biking. This is never going to be your fast race bike. So overall, as a do-it-all bike, I think this is a really good, nice, price-friendly bike to be able to do that. There are so many options for it because of the different types of tyres that you can fit on it and all the different things that you can mount to it. So I just think if you were just wanting one bike to kind of do everything, I think this is a really good choice. I've really enjoyed riding it, and we'll maybe look at getting one in the future. It'd also make a cracking winter bike as well, just because you can get such wide tyres on there. So I think that is it for this video. Let me know if you've had a ride on a Tripster, if you've got a Tripster, what you think to it, what you think of the colour. I do love this colour. Hope you found it helpful, hope you found it useful, and I'll see you next video. Bye y'all!